So you show up over there pretty early, because I think game started about 30 of it.
Yeah, but you don't have to get there. I'm just saying.
Well, my office is like way Washington there, so
Well,
it'd be really
yeah,
easy to hop right over.
the only question I have, I think yes we can will be last. You guys, in terms of order, I think that yes we can be last, third. But I don't know whether the mellower one, Walk on Water, should be first, or my inclination is to do the other one first. Do I know in my soul first, but the energy, you know, is different. So I don't know what's better as we transition into this.
That sounds right. I know my soul, walk on water. Yes.
Good. Oh yeah. Lions and Tigers, did you say? Does she have, they have typed in music for the, as I recall, right now? Oh, that's that.
General song.
I would just 1 minute. We actually should be playing.
Good. Woke up this morning. Woke up this morning. Cause we woke up with a mind state on spirit, yeah, and
Somebody woke up all jazzy this morning. Woke up this morning. Had to put a little swing in the step. Had to walk like this. Stay. I need like a cane I could swing when you're doing it that way, baby. That was beautiful.
somebody's on that, right?
Ask and ye shall receive. There it is. Good morning, CSL Simi Valley. Oh, so good to see everyone this morning. See some regular old friends and longtime faces haven't seen in a while. Hello, Hamers. Yes, indeed. Oh, hey, Sandy. Where's Al? Is he watching football? Yeah, that's probably. You're at home, right? You're watching at home. That's it. Hey, good morning, YouTube and Facebook and all of you guys on CSLCME.org. It's a beautiful day in Southern California and a kind of a windy day. I saw the Schaefers were picking up leaves in the lobby. I say, no, that's an eternal practice right there. They're just going to keep coming. Although I think they've closed the doors to close the wind tunnel, so here we are. Wonderful, wonderful time coming up for us. Moving into Thanksgiving week. Where has the year gone? You know, Dr. Holmes wrote a really interesting piece around Thanksgiving. It's a little involved. It's more than I want to read for you here, but I've got some excerpts from it that I'm going to read. And let me just put on the arm extenders and share Dr. Holmes' words on Thanksgiving. He says, there is such a thing as the game of life, and there must be a way to play it so that when we go to bed at night, we shan't worry too much about the hurt of the day into a restless sleep. We don't want to carry that into a restless sleep, he says. So that when we wake in the morning, we shall anticipate something that promises to be wonderful and exhilarating. He must have been waking up in Simi Valley on a Sunday windy morning. You see, this is the way we are made, and God never makes mistakes. There is nothing wrong with this thing called life. For whatever seems wrong with it is the way we are living it and not life itself. If we're not getting the most out of life, it must be because we're not putting the most into it. This is when he gets into it. This week we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving Day. But Thanksgiving is more than a day to serve turkey and dressing and eat brown gravy and mashed potatoes. It really means that we should be grateful for life, that we should praise the giver of all good. But how much time do we spend in affirming the good things of life? In recognizing that which is best in ourselves and others. In exhilaration of his spirit, the psalmist exclaimed, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name." Suppose this week we try to discard our negative approaches to people and circumstances, and for every condemnation, let's find something to praise. For every doubt, let's find a faith. For every fear, let's find a new hope. Let's see if we can't sing our song of praise and thanksgiving. I know if we practice this for the next few days, a new flavor will come into our living, and we will gather around that festive board, and we too shall be able to say with the psalmist, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, all that is within me. Bless his holy name." Ernest Holmes. Oh, it's nice. And that's our goal. That's our goal this week. And we'll talk more about that. But as we think about it, and you'll see more about it when you hear about this that's behind me, it's part of how we bless this week. And the way we bless our entire year is how we live our vision and our mission statement. So let's share that together right here and right now. We're community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God in gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do. You're welcome, sir.
So what we do here is we start off with prayer. So let's do that. To settle in and know that focusing, that thought of knowing that there is only one, knowing that there is one spirit, one life, one substance, one divine being that created us, and we have those same attributes. We share those attributes of love and wisdom and compassion and creativity and thought. We speak our word and it is done. So right now we think, we speak, we say that this is a wonderful service, that this is a blessing, that we are so grateful to be here. We are grateful for this teaching. We're grateful for this building. We're grateful for all of the chairs, all of the electronics, the cameras, the people who run the cameras, who let people in, who seat them, give them programs, play the music. We are so grateful for everyone who makes this happen. We're so grateful for this teaching, which is really just reminding us to know that we can change our thoughts and change our experiences. That is such a blessing. As Ernest Holmes says, if we can turn away from fear and lack, and we find hope, and we find abundance. So we know that that is true for us. It's true for everyone who hears this and sees this. It's true for all of our friends. And indeed, it is also true for all of those who we do not say are our friends. It is true for everyone. So from this place of giving and gratitude and love and joy and peace and prosperity, we just say, yes, it is good, it is very good, and so it is.
Please, let's rise. Let's sing together. How can I serve today?
So I invite you to join with me in our affirmation today. I'll read it, and then we'll all read it together. I celebrate my divine journey, grateful for each triumphant victory. So together. I celebrate my divine journey, grateful for each triumphant victory. So my reading today is from the Science of Mind textbook by Ernest Holmes. But before that, a little note. A victory is actually a triumph, is a celebration that the Romans used to give their military leaders when they won a battle. So a triumph is a celebration. I thought that was interesting. But here's the reading. We should read, study, think, and meditate upon those statements which tend to calm, give poise and confidence, and erase all thoughts of tension and fear. The subjective law can only operate on that which it is given. That means what's in our consciousness. That's what we put out into the subjective law. That's what we get back. So we must be very careful of our patterns of thought. We live in a sea of perfect life, and we should take time to understand and sense this in our imagination. We should think of ourselves as being surrounded by perfect life and poised in an eternal calm. We are in a sea of untroubled waters of life from which we may freely drink. We must do the drinking. No one else can do this for us. We should hold out the cup of acceptance until it is filled and overflowing with the manifestations of our desires. The chalice of the heart is held up, that the heavenly flow may fill it with God's abundant life. The church I used to go to before here used to say, God bless the reading of this word. It just seems appropriate to me now.
Amen. God bless the reading of this holy word. Thank you. I like that. Yes, well, let's just do this. I don't think it needs an intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Believe me, I'm on the road this time. Believe me, I'm on my way to find the truth of my heart and a brand new start. I find on track to find my way back to myself. I know in my soul, and I'll never forget to believe in myself and accept nothing less than knowing the truth and receiving the best for my heart. That's the way, that's the truth, follow the way. And though I misstep, I'll get back on the path. And when I forget, I will have faith in you, and you'll give me no less than your word and your heart. That's the truth. Believe me, what I'm saying is true. Believe me, this is a song for you. I won't get lost this time. Not with trusted friends like mine, like you, who keep me on track and find my way back to myself. I know in my soul there's a path I must walk, must do the work. I cannot just talk, 'cause joy can be found, for that's who we are. Love all around, let's head for the stars. I know in my soul, and I'll never forget to believe in myself and forget nothing less than follow the truth and receiving the best for my heart. That's the way, that's the truth. I follow the way, and though I misstep, I'll get back on the path. And when I forget, I will have faith in you, and you'll give me no less than my word and my heart. That's the truth. And I'll never put your hands together to believe in myself and accept nothing less than knowing the truth and receiving the best for my heart. That's the way, that's the truth, follow the way. And though That's the truth. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Linda and I watched School of Rock last night. It was really cool. So rock on. But now I get to practice a different kind of rock. Now I can have patience like a rock. Just sit and be. Whatever the wind, whatever the storm, whatever the sun, the rain, just be the rock. Let everything happen around us. And we know that inside there is that peace and stillness. So we're going to be quiet for 3 minutes. And then afterward, David's going to play some music and bring us out. So here we go. So I invite you, if you're out walking and you see a rock, or you're driving and you see pavement, or you're out and you see the hills around Simi that are full of rocks, just remember that it's all one. Namaste.
I sometimes find myself wondering, I get out of alignment and I forget. Unlike most of you, no doubt, but I forget my alignment with Spirit, and I forget the truth. And I forget that my picture and our picture is on, if there is a refrigerator in heaven or in spirit worlds or in the astral realms or whatever it is, our picture's right there. So this is a song called Walk on Water. I'm not a man for whom trust comes easy. I've been hurt before and left out in the cold. Sometimes I don't feel like I can take it. I get cynical or weak, or so I'm told. When it seems like I'm alone in this world, I know you'll be there to help me to be bold. I walk on water, my feet above the waves. The storm clouds don't scare me anymore. I trust you, Father. I know that you will guide me and give me faith so I can reach the shore. I'll walk on water. I'm not a saint, but I can tell you this much. There is one who has my picture on his wall. There's a lot that I can't do on my own, but with your power I can do it all. In raging storms and sleepless nights, I feel your presence with me. I know you'll be there to catch me if I fall. I walk on water, my feet are off the ground. The storm clouds don't scare me anymore. I trust you, Mother. I know that you will guide me and lift me up when I can walk no more. I walk on water. Presence with me. I know you'll be there to catch me if I fall. I walk on water, my feet far off the ground. The storm clouds don't scare me anymore. I trust you, Mother. I know that you will guide me and lift me up when I can walk no more. Walk on water, it's not a miracle, 'cause nothing holds me down anymore. trust you, Father. I know that you will guide me and lift me up when I can walk no more. I walk on water, my feet above the waves. Storm clouds don't scare me anymore. I trust you, Mother. I know that you will guide me. Give me faith so I can reach the shore. I'll walk on water.
David Joyce, thank you,
very
buddy.
much.
Lovely. And how about John Bell? I love that. I love a bass solo.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. We want to hear more of that. That was nice,
absolutely.
right? Yeah, yeah. Next time, a little thumping to be nice. Bum, 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 bum. You can go for it. Go for it if you feel it. I'm with it. Yeah. All right. In all things, be grateful. Be grateful for the bass solo. You know, it's, as David was singing that song, "Walk on Water," and reading that Dr. Holmes, he talked about in there the loaves of fishes was part of that Thanksgiving letter. And Dr. Holmes believed in the miracles of Jesus. He believed that they were for real because he understood and held on to the idea that Jesus really got the whole story of the Father and I are one. And it was in that unified experience that he found his power of instant demonstration. And that unified experience is when the early practitioners in the science of mind found their power in their instant demonstrations, where our practitioners find the power in their demonstrations from that unitive space, you know. And it was interesting that in that story of the loaves and fishes, it was a little boy who, in the John version of it, who brought Jesus the 5 loaves of bread and the fishes. And he said, "Here, this will take care of everyone." It was a little boy who had that faith, who had that divine faith. The other disciples were going, "That's not enough." But the little boy said, "No, this is enough," and gave it to the master teacher. And the master teacher said, "Thank you." He said, "Thank you. In all things, be grateful." And then you know the rest of the story. Nobody had to go to Starbucks. They sat right there and had a picnic by the river, by the lake, by the Galilee, by the sea. It's amazing where we can go with this idea, in all things be grateful. Rejoice and be glad in it and receive the blessings. Now, it is our true nature to actually be grateful. You look at a child and you see them doing something fun and you light up. And it's the joy of seeing that. It's the pleasure in seeing that happens out in nature. And even this morning coming in, and the wind was blowing, and the car was changing lanes all on its own. And I was thinking, but it's just so beautiful. The trees were laying down and dancing in the wind. I was grateful for it. My sinuses, maybe not. But my eyes, yes, you know. It's our connection to the divine. It's our connection to nature. It's within our nature to feel gratitude when we're out in nature, when we're seeing the innocence of a child, when we touch the hand of our loved one, when we're feeling that closeness, that unitive experience just comes through us. It's just a part of who we are. It's just like in Jeremiah, it says, I'm getting biblical here this week, but that's okay, because sometimes that's where the messages are. They're all over the place. Sometimes in Science Mind textbook, sometimes in the Bible, sometimes in the Quran, sometimes in the Upanishads, sometimes in the Bhagavad Gita, sometimes in a poem by David White, sometimes just in walking down the street and seeing the rocks on the hills of Simi Valley. There's always a message from the divine waiting for you. As Johanna tells us, poetry, what is it? A love letter from the divine. There's a love life from the divine coming to us in every moment, and we are supposed to rejoice evermore, as it says in Jeremiah. Rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing, and then give thanks. Now, for many of us, pray without ceasing means worry. We worry. That's a prayer. That's a prayer, an affirmation of what you don't want showing up in your life. But the prayer without ceasing begins with that idea of being grateful in all things. So I had a wonderful teacher in one of my early Science of Mind classes. His name was Reverend George Hines. Reverend George was married to a fundamentalist Christian. She was a Bible-thumping, down-home, praise Jesus Christian. And so what he had us do, this Science of Mind minister, in our class, we spent the first 15 minutes of every class listening to praise music. He said, because one of the things that praise music does, what he taught us, is that the gospel music tells you the good news. Praise music is a story of adoration and love. When you love something, when you really, really, really love something, it's on your mind all the time. You care for it. You're concerned about it. You want to be one with it. You want to celebrate it. You want to feel it in your body. And so the praise music helped us to be in love with the teaching of Science of Mind, helped us to be in love with the divine. And when you get that, boom, instant unity, instant demonstration. Instant loaves and fishes, feeding thousands of people. Guy walking on water. You healing your particular situation, be it cancer or broken bone or looking for a job or trying to bring your loved one back into harmony with you or whatever the situation, looking for the perfect place to live, kicking the right tire and saying, I'm taking that one home. Whatever is your desire that you're bringing, world peace, end of hunger. Whatever is your desire that you're trying to bring forth into manifestation, if something's not happening in that regard, it might have to do with a little bit of disconnect from the divine presence. And so that's why praising, that's why being thankful, living in gratitude is such an important way to be. I'm so grateful to George for that. And now I listen to all the time. I'm listening to praise music. It's just a lovely thing. Because see, praising and blessing promotes life. It promotes a sense of peace, a sense of joy. It brings love into the heart and out into expression. So much so that I have created my own little playlist. I got my playlist. I got the KISS playlist that I play every Sunday morning. I play it all throughout the week, but Sunday morning, it's like Johanna does not have to blow dry her hair on Sunday morning. She just gets to stand in front of my speaker because it's just praise. You know, singing it all. There's Richie Smallwood going on, or Donnie McClurkin going on, or what's her name? Yolanda Adams going on, you know, or the Mary and Mary, the Shackle sisters. They're just going on. That music just blasting out of the speakers. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was listening to it, and there were every now and then a song would come on that was not like exaltation. It was thump thump in the heart. And I said, oh, this feels so good. That just feels great. So I created a new playlist called The Divine Heartbeat. It's those songs that touch my heart, that make me feel a sense of love for the divine. And I listen to that before I do my prayer work. I want to get connected. You know, when I'm one with Spirit, it lifts my heart. And then I can move into that unity of space that we get to go into when we go into the gap, right? Dr. Holmes says that gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence and is crowned in heaven with a consciousness of unity. Some powerful words there. Crowned in heaven. Where does heaven exist, my friends? Right there, where you're pointing. Right within you, within us, in our crowned with heaven. It brings us right up to the head space and knowing that we are living in a state of heavenly understanding. We bring that kind of consciousness to it. That's the grace of human existence that he's talking about. There's such power in unity. Now we see it when we look at a cable. You look at a cable and it's all wound together. You know that cable is stronger. The more lines, the more individual lines connected around that cable, the more strength that cable has. Well, that same kind of cable existence is working for us right here at CSL Simi Valley. When we're all together, we can do more together than we can individually. You'll hear more about that when Johanna comes up to talk about this Adopt a Family tree right here, how we're already in 3 days doing more together than we can do individually. The collective power is so strong. It's a basic science of mind principle, how we work. That's why unity is such a big part of the science of mind. That's why another faith in the New Thought movement named itself that. Come on, you guys know what that is, right? Unity. Unity Church, yeah, come on, come with me now, be with me here, come on, wake up this morning. Now, when you recognize Spirit, and this is why in treatment we always teach these 5 steps of treatment, and the first one begins with recognition. when we recognize spirit, then when we bring anything or anyone into mind, that we've recognized spirit, now we bring something into our mind or any condition or anything into our mind, now we've unified that. That's the next step. We've unified with that. And when we do that, what we do is we get an equal reaction taking place between the thinker and the thing thought about. You know, it's like being those parallel cells. There's, I think, what are those cells called? Liminal cells? God, I can't think of the name right now. It's escaping me. I'm having a non-senior moment in a non-senior time. But I was reading a little bit about this, and Rob might have to come up and explain this a little bit later. But there's a new thing coming out called quantum computers. And these quantum computers work with these two, what they call them qubits, which really kind of surprised me. Because, you know, qubit, they misspelled it. They spelled it Q-B-I-T. I thought qubit was C-U-B-I-T, and I thought that's how they built the ark. But anyway, there's these new things called qubits, and when you have two of them and they become paired, those two that are paired, one has a piece of information, the next one instantaneously has that piece of information, and those two qubits will be linked together no matter what. And then when you send information across the internet, the information is known here and is known there simultaneously. Quantum computing. Mind-blowing. I'll stop trying to explain it there because that's probably more than enough for anybody to have to hold on to for a minute. But here's the power in that. This is a spiritual experience showing up in the physical world. Because when we pray, what we're doing is we're putting a conscious idea into the universal law and pairing it with that universal law through the power of love, and boom, the instant demonstration takes place. But we get in the way sometimes with our fears and our doubts and such like that. But when we can separate that through that idea of being grateful for the opportunity to do that, being grateful for the knowing of how this process works, being grateful for whatever the condition is that we're talking about, holding that in, that paired idea goes to work for our good. Are you following me with this? We are powerful practitioners of the Spirit because this is how we can do our work. When we allow the divine influx to be recognized through us, it enlivens this mission to live a better, more harmonious life. Again, in the 365 days of Science of Mind, a daily reader, he writes, there is always a silent communication between the individual soul and the invisible presence. Our connection to the divine is like those paired qubits I was talking about a minute ago. There's always a silent communication going on between them. And in that silent communication, if we throw in some gunky thought, like bad data in, bad data out, right? But if we throw in a love thought, a gratitude thought, that divine soul connection between us and this infinite presence is instantly receiving the idea. The union without contradiction, without doubt, without fear, our word bears fruit. Our word bears fruit. But sometimes we miss out. We've been missing out for a long time. A friend of mine sent me a text this week. He said, "What's the word?" I wrote back, "Johannesburg." He said, "What?" So I had to look up on YouTube and find Gil Scott-Heron's, a guy named Gil Scott-Heron. He wrote a song called Johannesburg. It was during apartheid, and he was talking about what's the word Johannesburg. And he makes this correlation between what was happening in apartheid in South Africa and what was happening in certain cities in America. And he lays them all down. Back in the 70s, he wrote another song back then called Winter in America. I got thrown into the whirlpool of the internet. So 14 Gil Scott-Heron songs later, I'm listening to Winter in America. And in this song, he's talking about how cold we have become to our fellow Americans. How icy the conditions are for people's lives. And as he was singing about it, tears started coming onto my eyes. Because the song was written in 1973. But it could have been written last year. Because the same conditions exist today. We are missing out because we have not experienced that space of grateful for all things and unifying ourselves with all people so that we can move beyond, so we can open up, so we can, somewhere, the message has been missed that in order for us to receive our good, we must give our good. It's not just get your good and keep it. It's give it, and then something good comes back to us as well when we can do that. Again, it's still in that 365 science of mind. Dr. Holmes says, we make life little and mean, and we limit our possibilities when we refuse to accept the whole gift of God. Listening to that music this week, reading a magazine that came to my house this week filled with 200 different organizations that are doing good in the world. We're missing out because I think we made, this is a little awkward point to get, but hear me here. We haven't accepted that in all of those maladies that we see in our social environment, there is some good. There's good in there because there's opportunity in there for us to give more so that we can receive more. See, if we can accept that what looks disquieting, what brings a sense of discomfort, what we might want to turn our eyes away from, the thing we might want to look past and not see it and pretend it's not there, it's still there. It's still there. So if we can accept that, we will move ourselves into a success. And songs like Winter in America won't be necessary anymore. Songs like Marvin Gaye's 1970, What's Going On, won't be necessary anymore. But those songs still resonate because the problems are still existing. We have not accepted all of those problems into our life and let ourselves rejoice in the opportunity we have to unify with ourselves and bring a solution and a resolution to all of those. And not getting us more wealth. There's plenty of wealth. I'm not talking about success as wealth. I'm not talking about success as power, or I'm not talking about success as your position in life. I'm talking about success that is a freedom from anxiety, a freedom from fear, a freedom from want and seeing others in want. We have the ability to be free from all of that. And as we go into this Thanksgiving week, we are called even more to experience that and to put our caps on, our really good glasses on, and see solution. To go into that crown of heaven space and allow something good to show up for us. And that book I was talking about that came in the mail this week, was so grateful for it. Literally, at the very moment, I was thinking, I would love to have some stories that help illustrate this point. And something said, I haven't checked the mail today, so I went to check the mail. And here, literally, this huge book is filled with hundreds of organizations that are giving of themselves to make life better. One of them was an organization called Urban Alchemist. I love that. The alchemists were trying to take regular metals and turn them into gold. They're trying to take what would look like scrap metal and turn it into gold. Well, these urban alchemists, that's what they do. They take people that look like throwaways and they turn them into gold. They hire recently emancipated people who've recently come out of incarceration. They hire these folks to work with homeless people living and experiencing homelessness, some of them who have gotten into that situation because they too came out of prison sometimes. You know, when you come out of jail, you don't have an address, you can't vote, and it's hard to get a job because you got to click the box that says felony, and then nobody wants to hire you after that. And after a while, your family can't even help you anymore. Next thing you know, you're out on the street. Well, these guys are going out and they're helping. They get hired, so now they got a job, and they understand, because there's a language that becomes known to people when they're living that kind of a lifestyle. So they understand that language, they can speak and translate and can lift others up. And a whole group of, you talk about position and power, some of the most powerful people in the city and in our country are part of the Alchemy 360 group that funds one of the organizations under their umbrella, which is this Urban Alchemist. So they've got millions of dollars pumped in to different setups, homes, building new homes, people working on the street, providing bathrooms for the street. It's hard, you hold it for a long time when you're living on the street, They're helping with all of that. It's just amazing what can happen, because these are folks that said, I'm so grateful for what I have. I want to do something with it. I want to give so I can receive, and I can receive that sense of freedom from anxiety, sense of freedom from fear, sense of freedom from want, sense of freedom from feeling like I haven't done enough. See, that spiritual perception that I'm talking about, that consciousness of unity that I'm talking about, that brings up a true sense of understanding. And then the understanding is, in the background, there is this unitive experience. With all things, we are connected. With all people, we are connected. Through all conditions, we are connected. We just can't be without it. We're breathing the same air. We're walking on the same planet. We eat the same kind of foods. And we do the same thing with the foods that come into our bodies and go out. So it's just, there's no way to break away from it. So the best thing to do is to not miss out on it and begin. And the starting point, a really good starting point, is praise, is saying thank you. It carries us beyond that space of fear and doubt when we say thank you. It invites a moment of faith. It invites us to accept conditions as they are, and also to accept that we are receptive to the change and ability to change conditions that we see, and to move into the realization of seeing that change. And see, we're talking about an attitude. You've heard attitude of gratitude. That attitude of gratitude is a recognition of something. You're seeing something and you're labeling it good. You're labeling it with love. You're labeling it with grace. You're labeling it with praise when you're seeing all things. In all things, be grateful. Rejoice evermore, where there's no sadness or depression or confusion. It's hard to feel sadness and depression and confusion when you're being grateful. They just don't occupy the same place in the brain. And it starts with sharing our best of ourselves, with sharing all that we have to give. And the more we give, the more we shall receive. You know the story of the talents, and the guy who had 5 and he turned it into 10, and the guy that had 3 that made 1 more, and the guy that had 1 that buried it. And then the guy, when the prince came back, he took the 1 from the guy that buried it and gave it to the guy with 10. The more you have, the more you give, the more you shall receive. You want to get something done, give it to a busy person. That's what they always say. So when they give me something, I go, I'm not busy. I'm chilling, so I don't get any more to do. Now, one thing we can do is we can. Did I do that? Yes. Did I miss one? I did. Where am I? I'm right here. There is only now. Yes. Yes. This next quote. Praise and thanksgiving not only lighten consciousness, lifting consciousness out of sadness and depression, they elevate consciousness to a point of acceptance. That's what I was going to get to. I sort of jumped the gun on that because I get so excited about rejoicing evermore. And see, accepting means having it all now. It's all about the appreciation, the acceptance, the love. Accepting makes it yours. Is what I wanted to get to. When we get to the point of acceptance, it becomes yours. And that can be a scary place. I think that's sometimes what gets in the way of wanting to make some of the changes that we see. That keeps the problems of 1973 being a problem in 2021, and hopefully not still a problem in 2023. It's if I accept that, then it becomes mine to do. Oh, darn that, Reverend Stephen. But it's okay. There's plenty out there for everybody to accept their own space, because you're only here to do what you're called to do. And when you accept it, the answer for what to do with it will come. The answer for what to do with it will come. particularly if you start with the practice of praise. If you start with the practice of thanksgiving. Let's begin with just ourselves right now. Karen Drucker has this thing that she does when she does workshops. We're going to do it here. We're going to hold our hands up like in an outward space of just acceptance and kind of look around as you say around the room, I praise you. Say it a few times. Look at somebody. Make eye contact. I raise you in the name of love. I praise you. I raise you in the name of love. Yes, indeed. See, there are two truths. And I wish, Dr. Holmes wrote, there are two truths that are inescapable. I had to beg to differ with my buddy, with my mentor and my teacher. I said there are two truths which I wish were inescapable, but thanks to free will, they are not inescapable. I've proven it to you because these two songs from 1970 and 73 are still saying current today because the problems exist. But it is inevitable that with praise and thanksgiving, life will change and it will get better. And we have the power to do that. In fact, we are empowered to do that. And the reason that you're here today to hear this, that I'm saying this, is because apparently we are the ones who get to do something about the stuff we're thinking about. I'm not going to tell you what your issue is. You guys have heard me. Mine, I'm like the homeless. That just gets me. Homelessness gets me. That's mine. Maybe that's not yours. Had a friend who used to complain. I told you about this guy. A friend of mine who complained all the time about graffiti, and he never paid his parking tickets, and he got a car towed away, and he went to the judge, and the judge gave him community service, and his community service was to clean up graffiti. Something's on your mind. And this message today is to do something about it. And this is a great week to begin to do something about it because it's Thanksgiving week. Give thanks for the idea and give thanks for the divine power within you that lets you do something with the idea. And know that you can do something with the idea. We've already praised and raised you up in the name of love, so you are fulfilled. You are filled with the power of doing this idea. Whatever your idea is, I'm not here to tell it to you because you already know it. It's very easy here, this part, for me, because I don't have to tell you anything more except these two things, which I love. The first one is from Hildegard and Bingen. She says that all creation is a song of praise to God. That hurt. All creation, all of it. The ugly part too, all of it is a song of praise to God. In other words, we're supposed to sing about it. Whistle while you work. If you're cleaning up the beach, whistle while you do it. Be thankful. And then follow Meister Eckhart's advice. This is the other inescapable truth. If the only prayer you say in your entire life is thank you, that would suffice. It would suffice if that was the only prayer because everything you're seeing is a song of praise. Everything. Then you'll be able to say with Emerson that God is beautiful in all the gifts of him that I see. God is beautiful in all the gifts of her that I see. God is beautiful in all the gifts of it that I see. God was the first transgendered person. So we just have a few days left in this month. I'm not going to put this on you for any longer than you want to. But I'm going to ask you if from now through the end of the month, if you would create a praise journal. Not a gratitude journal. A lot of us make gratitude lists. Gratitude is great. Gratitude is the affirmation of a pleasing situation. That's cool. I'm asking you to elevate it a little bit to praise, to loving, to adoring the situation that you're being thankful for. Love and adore that for which you are grateful. And try it out for the rest of the month. Every night, 5 things, and not the same 5 things every night. You can do that. But try it out. You'll feel great. You'll sleep wonderfully. Guaranteed. Better than melatonin. Okay? Give that a try. And remember, in all things, be grateful. And so it is. So let's celebrate. Let's double celebrate. Thank you for that piece of information. I love that. Let's double celebrate. I celebrate my divine journey, grateful for each triumphant victory. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. It's that time for our prayer. Oh, boy. Lovely. Let's speak some divine truth. We've been talking about gratitude for this whole service, so I'm knowing already that we are unified and that there's a powerful word being spoken here. This is the time, every week we do revealing prayer. Every week we step into this moment of divine understanding and manifestation, but this week it should be even more electric because we're already in that space. So I ask you right now to either raise up into your crown of heaven that desire that you want to see manifest in the world. You're welcome to speak it out loud into the room, and then I'll affirm it with a prayer for all of us in this moment. Let's begin now. And for all of you on Facebook and YouTube, put it in your chat. We'll send that to our practitioners later. And since Rob has already told us there's only now what you put into the chat, Spirit already knows right here and right now, because remember, there's always a silent communion going on. So in this moment, we have informed that silent communion because we have recognized Spirit in our hearts. We've lifted ourselves into the crown of heaven, and we know that a divine movement is taking place. We are paired with the divine. We are 2 cubits in the spiritual world of the quantum thing happening here and now. And so we bring into our experience joyous revelation that says that harmony is falling into our lives, that lack and limitation is falling away, that we are cleaving away from distress and anxiety and fear and cleaving to love and peace and unity, right action and divine givingness. That as we step into this week of Thanksgiving, we open the door to a life of giving thanks, to a daily routine of being grateful, for an attitude of gratitude that lifts us to a space of instant demonstration of the word that we have spoken, because we are aligned with Spirit in everything that we do, because we begin each day from a space of gratitude, from an attitude of positivity, an attitude of can-do, an attitude of no impossible, but an attitude of I'm possible, because I am the divine, working with the divine, creating divine outcomes. This is the truth of our being. This is the way we move through life, here and now and evermore. Grateful for this truth, I release this word into an infinite law that loves to say yes to the divine good, here and now. And so it is. Thank you, sir. David's going to play some music for us while we look at our announcements for the week. But for the moment, these are our ways of giving for anybody that's online or even in the service. If you want to break out your phone and do a text to give to 805-600-5677, and you could call the office. You could do it like we used to do at home. Office! And my dad would say, do you have to shout? Can you just come into the room? And of course, the baskets are going to be passed around. If you are an auto giver, please bless the basket as it passes by. And if you've got money, just drop it in there and we'll know what to do with it later. We're grateful to receive that. Let's do our pledge of abundance right here and now, which says, divine love, it's doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for CSL Simi Valley. Now, divine love is victorious and triumphant.
So one of my spiritual teachers told me that money is just crystallized energy. So I invite you all, wherever you are, standing or sitting, just wiggle a little bit. Jump up and down. You're creating prosperity. Because there is only energy, there is only substance. They are the same. E equals MC squared. It's a law. So, we are so grateful for the energy that is donated, for the energy that we have, for the energy that we give out, because it all circulates. It's never destroyed or created. It just circulates. And so it is.
I wrote a song a couple years before President Obama was inaugurated, but had to make a video of it around that time because it seemed appropriate, and you'll hear why. But I just want to thank you so much, Stephen, for the message this morning. I think that my uncle was a longtime member of the Redondo Beach congregation, and he used to tell me, could you not send me that negative stuff about, what's going on in the world, that all the poverty and the troubles and things like that. And he said, I want to remain positive. I want to think happy thoughts and know that I affirm that they're going to figure it out. And I just, wow, I didn't know what to say. And now what I would say is, my God is bigger than that. And so is yours. And so when we face struggles and things like that, we have to look in our own lives and in our world and say, embrace it and say, let's see it. Let's change it. Let's transform it. And I ask you, can we do that? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Everything that we need is here to be shared. No children should suffer from hunger. We can plant the seed, let's all be prepared to look for the grace and the wonder. Can't we just end all this hating and blaming and see that our needs are the same? Yes, we can if we help one another. Yes, we can. We're all sisters and brothers. Yes, we can if we all pull together. Every child, every woman, every man. There's a vision. It's a noble plan. It's our decision. So take me as I am. Everyone's got a part to play, and everyone's got a right to stay. A voice to be heard, can we hear them today? Yes we can, yes we can, yes we can. Well, no one is crying about my mistakes. Can we stand up and face the dawn? Yes we can, if we help one another. Yes we can, we're all sisters and brothers. Yes we can, if we all pull together. every child, every woman, every man. Come on. Yes, we can if we help one another. Yes, we can. We're all sisters and brothers. Yes, we can if we all pull together. Every child, every woman, every man. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Don't you know that we can? Oh, yes, we can. You'll probably learn this part pretty quick. Yes, we can. Are we gonna live who we are? Yes, we can. Are we gonna wake up and face that dawn? Yes, we can. Are we gonna live into the grace and the wonder? Yes, we can. Can we do this and hear each other? Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Because my God's bigger than that. I love that answer. That's a good answer. Yeah. What'd you say? My God's bigger than your God. See that on the playground right now. Why'd you guys start fighting? He said his God was bigger than my God. What? Ah, that's beautiful. Oh, thank you to our service teams, Peter Lambert today, the Schaefers, and Mona somewhere. There she is. Thank you so much, service team. Gotcha. Man, that Terry, she's just jamming on the booth. Did you see those lovely wipes she was throwing in there? Gregory's such a great teacher. If you too would like to learn how to do video, just talk to Gregory. He'll teach you, and you'll be up there putting Terry out of work anytime. What we're trying to get to is to have we need 4, so that Gregory doesn't have to be here every single Sunday, as he has done for years. And we're so grateful for that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see now. Kathy on the slides. Thank you so much. And it wouldn't be Sunday without the Soul Purpose Band and the L's. And thank you for being with us this week, David. Always a pleasure to have you. Beautiful music, and just what a great heart. I just love the heart that you bring to our service. Thank you so much. Okay. Talking about the Yes We Can, I'm going to invite up Reverend Johanna, who's going to share something about what we can do to make a major difference in the lives of at least 400 families and maybe 1,000 kids. Or a few of those thousands of kids. There you go.
A few of them. So while Reverend Simi was speaking today, I was thinking, it's like, I like to look back at my life occasionally, and it serves me well because it shows me how far I've come and what has worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. And what I have realized is that, at some point in my life, I was so in survival mode that all I could think about was myself and raising my son. And what I noticed today, or by now, my bandwidth is so much greater that with joy I participate in the community and donate to the community. And it feels like such a gift to be able to do that. And so Cheryl Collins and Darlene Ballas and I all came from the same place, and instead of the toy drive that we usually do at CSL Simi Valley every holiday season, we wanted to do a project that we all could participate in if we're here or if we're watching the service online. So what we did is that we now work together with Harbor House, who has an adopt a family program. So what Harbor House does every year, that they adopt families, and this year they adopted 400 families and about 1,100 children who they support during the holiday season. And their goal is to give each family a $50 grocery gift certificate, and each child will receive a $25 Target card, right? So we have set as goal to support 20 families of the 400 families for Harbor House. And we can do that as a community, right?
Yes.
I'm sure
Yes, we can.
Yes.
With that, we also wanted to recognize that within our CSL Simi community, we also have family of need, who are in need or who can use our support, right? Who can participate in our communal abundance. So in talking with Reverend Stephen, what we have decided, so besides supporting 20 families of Harbor House, we will also support 5 families within our own community.
It gets better. Hold on to this. Hold on to your
know.
hat. I love this part.
And then a Secret Santa showed up and said, we will match dollar for dollar the 5 families that are supported within our community. So now we have 10 families or equivalents of families that we will support in this community. Isn't that fantastic? So all of this came together just a few days ago. And we already have money in for 12 families. Isn't that fantastic? So we're almost halfway. So this is a visual representation of what we're doing. Thanks to Cheryl Collins' neighbor Jen, who is a kindergarten teacher and just put this together in a day. It's like, it's amazing to me. And so every circle represents a grocery card, and every star represents a Target card for a child, okay? We will get many more ornaments, but this approximately represents what we got so far, okay? Yeah, clap, go for it. So, how you can donate. You know, on average, we figured with 400 families, 1,100 children, it's about $125 to support a family, okay? Every dollar counts. So what we will encourage you to do is, like, from the fullness that you're experiencing, if you can donate, please do so. So for the people online, you can go to cslsimi.org and just click on the donate button, which will bring you to PayPal, and make a donation there. And then just in the memo, you put holiday giving, and we will get it. You can also call the center and donate by credit card or send in or bring a check. That is all good. And then here today, Kathy Bird, thank you, Kathy, double duty today. She will be by the library with the credit card machine. So if you would like to donate with your credit card, you can do that. I will be walking around with a basket. I take cash and checks. And this will go on for another week. Next Sunday is another opportunity to donate. But we want to have all the money together by November 30th because Harbor House needs it in order to give it to the families. And we also like to give it to the families within our community, not like right before Christmas. You know, we like people to know at the beginning of December. Okay? I think that's it. Did I miss anything?
I have just one correction.
That is?
In your MO put adopt a family.
Oh,
Adopt a family, because we actually have another thing called holiday giving, because we're so into giving.
Okay,
so
great.
Adopt a family, so we'll know it goes to this program, or family, or anything like that. Adopt, and we'll know that that's where it goes to.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
Great work.
you.
You guys really nailed it. I love that. I love the ornaments in the tree, and that before they could even get the ornaments up to represent how many families, we had too many families for the ornaments. That's great. So may we run out of ornaments over and over again. Thank you so much for your giving. It's a beautiful program. Really awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, what's up with the Cosmic Kids today? Is it Dr. Susan? Oh, and Emily's here.
Emily is going to do the talking today.
Ooh.
So we had 3 words, and I picked grateful, and we did a little reef, and I wrote a little sentence that says, I'm grateful for my family, friends. I'm unique. I feel energy, relaxed, and good.
That's sweet. Perfect. I like that. You are energy because you matter.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Emily. Beautiful. That's lovely.
Good job. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Speaking of Thanksgiving, there are 2 Thanksgiving activities going on. Tuesday, the Simi Valley Interfaith Association is having a Thanksgiving evening. It's happening at the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints stake here in Simi Valley. And then on Wednesday night, it's the pie, without pie, celebration, unless you have your own, at the Conejo Valley Interfaith Association. That will be online, and our email blast goes out. We'll have links to both. So you can go in person to the LDS Church, LDS stake here in Simi Valley on Tuesday night, or you can watch from the comfort of your home on Tuesday night. On Wednesday, you can watch from the comfort of your home to see the Conejo Valley, and that one on Wednesday night features our very own Emily McLaughlin. So we definitely want to support her for that one on Wednesday night. Okay, so as a result of that, here at the center, we will be dark on Wednesday night. There won't be anything happening at the center this Wednesday. We'll see you the following Wednesday night for Wednesday service. So I think that covers all the highlights, and there'll be people walking around. Johanna will be out with your basket. Rob will be underneath the exit sign, ready to do prayer with you. And now it's time for us to do our closing benediction, and then we'll sing. Yeah. Here we go. Nope, that's a stand-up moment. Stretch, shake your energy. Here we go. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. See you next week.
Yes, we can, right?
Yes.
Where'd it go? Huh? Let's take it from letter D, though, not the whole thing, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.